What's good? So you're probably like 20 years old and you're thinking of buying a car really soon. So maybe you're in college and maybe you want to use it to get to your friends' places, or maybe you want to visit your parents whenever you want to, or maybe you just want to go out more, You just go out and see what's out there, or maybe you want to use it to go buy things at the grocery store or, any other store whenever you need it. Regardless of whatever it is, I'm here to help you decide right this moment when and how you should get your first car. So, we're going to cover three things today. First, we're going to talk about budget, and then we're going to talk about whether or not it's worth it. And then we're going to close off with how to get the car itself. So, jumping right into things. So, we're going to be talking a little bit about the budget. So, not just about the car, but about maintenance as well, because it breaks down into two things, right? So, it's how much are you willing to pay for the car right now, and then how much are you willing to pay later. So the first things is, okay, so I recommend people, especially around 20s, trying to get their first car, to buy a used car that's under $5,000, because this is your first car, especially if you don't know how to maintain a car really well. But also, you save a lot of money because you don't really need a car for much at this time, or at least I'm assuming, from my personal experience. So I would say right now is the time to really invest in something that can get you somewhere, but not necessarily something fancy. So the second thing is, how much are you willing to put aside for insurance, gas, oil changes that you're going to have to do. And, oil changes can maybe cost you, upwards of $50 once every, 2 or 3 months, depending on how often you're doing your oil changes. But gas is going to be expensive based off of what car you get and how much you're driving. So that's really dependent. I would say, in total, all of this, you could be looking at anywhere between $150 and upwards of $500, depending on how you use the car. So that's going to be a month as well. So keep that in your mind when you're deciding to buy your first car, because it's not just about the money you're paying up front, but it's also about the money that you pay later to maintain having the car. So always keep that in mind. So I would say, honestly, go for a car under $5,000. And once you have that, you can budget like $250 for, insurance, gas, whatever else you might need to come up with in a month. So take this into account when you're thinking of your budget or what type of car you want to buy. Definitely go for something that makes sense for you. So then the second thing we're going to talk about is it worth it? Like, where are you in life right now? Like, do you need to be getting around more? Are you financially stable, or do you have an opportunity somewhere that makes, having a new car worth it? Like, for example, let's say you have a job that's, 5-10 miles away, that you don't have buses or any other ways to get there, but you see this job as, a good opportunity for yourself. Definitely, I would say this is a good investment, because then when you get your car, you're able to get to work easily. So that's a good investment. Or maybe you just want to explore new places. You just want to check out your neighborhood, see what is on other neighborhoods that are close by, or you just want to travel a little bit. Whatever the case may be, it could help you in that sense. Feel a little bit fulfilled. So I would say that's also another reason. So it's very dependent, and this is very subjective whether or not it's worth it to you. But the thing is, you have to look at the big picture and see, where you're currently at financially and other things, and see, what is really driving you to want to buy a car. And if you think it makes sense, I would say definitely pull the trigger. So then the third thing we're going to talk about is, where and how do you find your first car? So the first thing I'm going to say, big tip, ask your friends and your family, let them know, hey, I'm looking to buy a new car. Do you know anybody that's selling a car? Because if you're buying from somebody that you're, in close contact with, anything happens to their car, you know who to go to. So, and also they probably wouldn't scam you if they're like friends or family. So definitely one of the best ways to get your first car is by asking, the people around you. And, my experience, I got lucky. My dad's friend, he's a mechanic, and we've known him for like 8 years. So he wanted to get rid of his car, and I, happened to buy it from him. So that was really, really clutch. But if you have no luck in that avenue, don't worry, because there are a lot of cars online selling, and it's really hot. So you can look online. I would say don't look at roadside dealers or Facebook Marketplace, because the chances are, like, if you buy on Facebook Marketplace, you probably won't see the person ever again. So that's one thing to kind of avoid. Try not to do that. So what do you do then? So you got to find a pre-owned seller in your area, and the best way to do that is, either a local dealership, or you can use CarMax or Car Gurus or Cars.com. Those are some search aggregator for cars, so you can use those to scour the web and find a car that fits in the price budget, but also a car that's pretty close by. So like you can filter the how far away you want to find a car. You can filter what brand, what model the car is. You can filter the price, and the thing you got to look at when you're looking at these cars is the mileage on it. So you got to look at the mileage and make sure it also makes sense for what price you're paying. But also the other thing is you got to make sure that the car that you're buying is in good condition. So you got to definitely go call these people whenever you see it online. Call them, ask them, hey, I want to check out this car, and then just go visit there and look at a lot of different cars that they have before you commit to buying. Check out the options they got, but also like how the business works, to make sure it's a credible business you're buying from. So if you want to go down there, definitely take somebody that understands cars. I personally don't know much about cars, but it's nice to have someone that knows about cars. If you don't really know about cars, I would say, just visit a few dealerships, see what they got going on, so you have a better sense of, what competition, looks like, what, offers are on the table, and you can see, what's a good deal and what's a bad deal. So definitely keep that in mind when you're looking at it. Getting your first car is very, very exciting. So, this is an exciting time. I hope I helped you make a decision. When you have a car, you have a lot more freedom of where you want to go, whenever you want to go. So it's very nice to have something you can rely on whenever you want. I would say definitely, definitely keep these three things I said in mind as you're making this decision. I really hope this helps you make it. Good luck buying your first car, and I hope to hear some good news. Let me know in the comment section if you find a way to get your first car, what it is. Let me know if this was helpful as well. It was your boy Elijah. Stay tuned for more. See you next time.